Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit on bell icon to get the latest updates on QA automation side.
Okay, so let's get started with SRP design pattern. So what is SRP? So that stands for Single Responsibility Principle. So this design pattern states that every module or class should have responsibility over a single part of the program functionality. Okay, so now if you take page object, so that class will have responsibility over entire page functionality, right? If you are aware of that page object design pattern, so that in that pattern you have to give all the objects in one single class. But whereas in single responsibility principle, you should assign only one single responsibility. Let's say if you are focusing on flights, then this flights should be handled by one single class, because this is one single responsibility. If you are looking at hotels, and this hotel should be a single responsibility and it should be isolated into one separate class. So that is what this principle says, that it only should focus over one single responsibility of your program. Okay, why? So when class is highly coupled with more responsibilities, now let's say this class, if you focus of writing all in one single class like flights, hotels, holiday packages, everything in one single class, then any small change to your requirement will definitely lead to many changes in other parts of code, which is very hard to maintain. So that is what their main principle of saying, that you should have your classes with a decoupled way with the lesser responsibilities, and they clearly tell that you should have only one single responsibility. So that way it is very easy to maintain even if you make any changes. Okay, so using this principle, developers can write code that is very decoupled, where each class has its own job. Okay, so every class have only one duty and encapsulate responsibilities to other classes. So if it come across any other responsibility which is needed for this own job, then that encapsulates to other classes and get that work done from that class and bring back the result to your own class. Okay, so using this way, if you make your code highly decoupled, then it was very easy to maintain. If you come across an application like this where you have a lot of functionality sitting in one single page. Okay, this is the best example where page object mechanism may go wrong. So here is where you have to bring another design pattern to make it more effective, and SRP will really suit here. Okay, now, so if specification of this job changes, it's obvious that developer makes changes to only that class, right? So if you make like this, the chances are very less to break your entire application, as all other classes should still be doing their job as before, right? So it will still not impact any other functionalities. Like if you focus on flights, your hotels, holiday packages will still not impact, right? So now how do you design this highly decoupled classes using this SRP? So that is what we are going to see in the next lecture. So you understood the high level definition, right? Okay, you need not understand any depth here. Okay, if you just understand the base of what we are trying to achieve, that is enough, because from the next lecture we will do practical implementation of achieving this single responsibility principle, right? Overall, the class should have only a part of responsibility of your entire application by having decoupling code. We will see this in practical by using that website what we have seen. So we already have created one Maven project. So structure is ready. We just need to add our code in this Maven structured project. So we have two folders here in the source folder, main and test. All your page objects, utilities will go in the main folder, and all your test cases will go in the test folder. So though we have many design patterns here, base will always be page object. Okay, so on page object we will implement these design patterns and distribute our code into multiple classes with right strategies. So when I say distribute to multiple classes, it's not just breaking that class into multiple classes. There is so much of patterns we follow in it, which you will only understand after a few lectures. So just be patient and follow up, and then you will see the magic of all these patterns for our automation framework design. So from the main folder, we already have org.rahul shetty academy package. So under this package, let me create first a new class. So let's call this as travel homepage. So this is our base page object. Okay. So this travel homepage is the class which represents this page. And in general, when we do just page object model, all the objects of this page we will directly write into this class, right? Instead, we will make some changes and introduce this single responsibility pattern and delegate the responsibilities to multiple classes from this base page, which is a travel home page. Okay. So if you see this page, you have a lot of functionalities in the header and you have so many links in the footer. So let's divide this page into different subsections. For footer navigation, let's have one class. So that class should take care of all the functionalities related to this footer navigation. And for this is a general navigation bar, right? So for this navigation bar, let's create another class, and that class should take care of all the responsibilities, objects, initialization, any functions related to that navigation bar in that class. And all these redirections should happen from our main class only. So when I say main class, we just created one main class called travel homepage, right? So this is our main class. As we discussed, as per the single responsibility pattern, a class should have one single responsibility. So let's treat this class which will redirect us to the proper subclasses. So this responsibility of this class is to help us to redirect to the another classes. That's the only responsibility this main page does. Okay, so let's treat in that way. Now, so all the references to the subclasses should be provided here. So let's get started with that. First, we will start with get navigation bar. So I will create just a new method called get navigation bar. So basically this method should give me the access to the another class. So when I say access, so this should give me the instance or object of the new class, which will take care of all navigation bar related functionality. Okay, so let's say this method should give me the new. So this should give me the object of this new class. So right now there is no class with navigation bar. So that's why it's giving an error. So let's say create class for navigation bar. Okay. So it's asking where I should create. So destination package, for now let's write it in this package only. Later we will refactor. Click OK so that a new file class will be created for you. So you need not create. You can directly create with the suggestions what it provides. Okay. Right. So you have an error here because you are returning an object of the class. So that means you have to change return type also. So move your cursor and you say make get navigation bar return the class reference, right? Now the error is gone. So basically if somebody want to access navigation bar from their test case, so first test case should access this base page which is travel home page. So they can be accessible like travel homepage dot get navigation bar dot and the methods what you defined here. Okay, so that way from home page we are saying that we are going to navigation bar class. From there we are accessing it. Okay, so the object access is written in this home page only, so that you can access all the methods of this navigation bar directly by calling travel homepage dot get navigation bar dot methods. We'll see that, don't worry. Now our class is successfully delegating all the navigation related activities to this method. From this method you will be able to access the methods of that navigation. Next, similarly let's also have footer navigation. So public, just start with get footer navigation and make sure you return new footer navigation, and obviously there is no class, so that's why it's complaining with an error. So more actions, create class footer navigation in the package, and then class will be created, so that you have to do return type. Perfect, error is gone. Okay, nice. So you created just two methods which will give you the access to the two different sections of your page. But you should design your framework in such a way that if you want to go to footer navigation, we just will go to another class and that class will have methods. We know that, that's simple. But you should design in such a way that your Selenium also, when you search for any object, and when you search that object with the methods present in footer navigation, your Selenium also should search in that footer only. Okay, now for example, let me show you one example here. Flights. We just realized that title equals to flights is having multiple objects selection here. Let's write CSS for that. Title equals to flights. Right, two elements are matching. You see that? Now I will write a method to click on flights link in my footer section page. Okay, so I created one footer section page here, right? Footer navigation class. So here I will write a method to handle flights. Okay, now I will give this CSS. What happens? If I give the CSS, there are two elements matching, one here on the header and one the footer. But I will just blindly give this CSS. It's framework duty to tell clearly that, hey, as you are executing this method from footer navigation, go and search only in the footer navigation section. Do not search in header navigation. Okay, how does Selenium know that information? Okay, it's just that you are writing the methods in footer navigation, but when you say driver dot search, Selenium obviously will search from the top left, right? It will search from here only. But how would Selenium know that it has to search only in the footer navigation just because these guys have that method in footer navigation? Okay, if Selenium can successfully search only in footer, then we need not worry about this multiple elements matching, because in this footer there is only one flight which is unique, right? Then it will directly match it. You have this headache and problem only when you search in browser entire page level, then you get two elements matching, so you confused and you should write some more locator to make it unique. But if Selenium say, hey, just because you are executing something in footer, I will only search in the footer. If that knowledge Selenium have, then we need not worry about this duplicate, because we have only one element and it will directly click on this link. So how should we tell Selenium in our framework that search only inside this when you are working with the methods in the footer is the real logic? Okay, that is what we need to bring magic to our framework, so that automatically when Selenium executes any method in this class, scope of Selenium should be in the footer only. So it should search in the footer only, so that I will directly give that CSS without writing any parent reference to identify it uniquely. Let's see how can Selenium make that scope restrict. All right, we realized that we should build our Selenium in such a way that when it executes any methods in footer class, scope of Selenium should be in this footer only. So to restrict that scope, first of all, you have to get the locator of this entire section, so that you can provide in framework that, hey Selenium, instead of doing search in entire page, when you come to my footer class, search only in this footer. Okay, so to give that information, you see that when you move to id equals to traveler home, then it is highlighting that entire footer. So this is what we actually need now. So take this id and then let's go back to our IntelliJ and then we will define it here, saying that this is the ID what our footer scope is entirely present in. Now when I say by.id, I am getting all these locators. For you may not get it for first time because you don't have Selenium dependencies in your project. So I just downloaded them and put it in my pom.xml. So get these Selenium dependencies, have in your project, and then go to Maven, and here refresh and reload all your Maven projects so that automatically the dependency what you added will be added to your project. Okay, so I hope you know how to get Selenium dependencies into the project. Okay, if not, you can just Google with Selenium Maven information, and in their official website in this URL you will get the stable version whatever you have on that specific day, right? So once you have that information, now we have that ID, right? So by.id. So I'm just declaring by locators here for now, and let's call this as by section element, something like this. Let's give some nice name to this section element, and this is our ID. Now if I want to write a method like select flights public void, we just saw that in our previous lectures that to select flight we have attribute, two elements are matching, one is here and one is here, doesn't matter, just use this. This is simple locator, right, to identify, because our goal is that when you write it in footer section, Selenium should search it here only. If it is searching here, then it can't find this top one, right? So don't worry about writing complicated locator, right? Whatever you have, no matter how many elements you see matching in your page, don't worry, because the framework what we are going to design will be restricted. That's how we are doing, right? So you can give an element, you can name it as flights equals to by dot css selector, and then pass it. Okay, now so here you can generally, to click that flights, you will write a step like this: driver dot, what is driver here? You did not define any driver here, so let's define web driver here. So which browser it has to invoke, that we will drive from our test case, Chrome driver or Firefox driver. Okay, so driver dot find element, and then here you already given by dot selector, right? You just need to pass this flights inside this, simple. So driver dot go and find the elements dot click, but if you do this, this will go and click on the header section, right? Because you are saying driver dot, the scope here is an entire page when you use driver dot. Instead you have to use section element dot find element. Okay, because this section element scope is already restricted to that footer, isn't it? We just created and got this traveler home from this page. So here traveler home selected entire footer section here. So you, instead of doing driver dot, if you do section element dot find element, then scope will be on that select flight only. Okay, so here basically I want to create one customized find element. Okay, if I do direct driver dot find element, this is giving me an entire page, right? Instead I want to create one custom method, just like how we have find element by Selenium. I will create one custom find element. That custom find element will automatically first identify that section of this page. On that section dot, it will do find element, so that search scope will be restricted. Okay, so let's create this custom element. For that we will have some abstract or common component for all these files, and in that file let's place that custom element so that this custom element can be accessible to all the components of your entire page. Okay, so basically this footer nav and navigation bar are called page components. Okay, this is the base home page. As we are following single responsibility pattern, this home page is delegating its responsibility to its components. So we created multiple page components. Footer navigation is one page component. Okay, so this will actually do its own responsibility of handling its footer stuff, and navigation bar, which is on top, this will take care of its own responsibility of handling header information. So every class is doing its own duty. right? That's where we are bringing single responsibility pattern. So on top over it, what the future we are bringing is, when Selenium is working on that class, we should make sure that search is also restricted to that section scope instead of searching an entire page. That is what we want to bring. So when we do like this, we just realized that it will search an entire page, and we thought of creating one custom element which should be able to accessible to all these. So let's create one component called abstract component. I will create one abstract class. So right now, when you move your cursor, it will ask you to create a new class of abstract component. So let's create that. So I will make it abstract because this class may have a methods which are implemented and which are not implemented. If the methods are not implemented, it's the duty of the classes to implement the methods of this class if they extend it, right? So right now we have defined footer navigation class, and that class is extending this abstract component. I can write all reusable methods here. So these methods can be used by all the page component classes if they extend it. So what method you want to write it here? I want to write my own custom find element. That is what my goal is, because I don't want to do on driver.find element. You see that I'm declaring my own method here. So for web element imported, and error will be gone. Okay. So when you say have your own find element, then it's like section element. This is how you want to bring it, right? Section element dot find element, and the by locator, whatever you want to bring it. Okay, so this is what you have to actually get. This is, once you get this, you can apply dot click or anything. Instead of driver dot, you want to apply like this. Now, where are these elements? Where is this section element? How section element from this page will reach this page? Okay, so many connections we have to now establish. We just understood the theme, what we want to achieve, but it's our duty now to how to drive all these from respective pages and make it more generic. Okay, so if you directly copy this section element here and think that okay, my task is accomplished, then this abstract component will work only for this class. Okay, now if you go to navigation bar and then write extends abstract component, then you cannot use it here, because if you use find element from navigation bar, then here section element is pointing to footer, right? So you cannot hard code your elements, section elements in your abstract components. You have to bring it from your page components or from main class. So that's where you have to form a proper connection. All right, so now where we should decide and put this section element. So my suggestion, let's not even put this in footer navigation. Okay, though this footer navigation is related to this section element, let's have this in main page, travel home page, because from this page we are redirecting and delegating all footer related stuff to this method, right? By creating object of this class. So when we are delegating access to this class, so we will also tell this is your scope and this is your class and go and execute. Okay, so all scope related locators also let's have in main page, and let's send that as an argument to your class, so that you, once you call this method, automatically as you are sending as an argument, this footer navigation class will be aware of this section element. So that is where from main page only we are giving that information and sending to the right place. Okay, so now let me create this variable here. Okay, I'm going to send this as an argument to my class. At the same time, we have to send driver also. So test case first will create one driver. Okay, when you create a test case, you will be doing like WebDriver driver equals to new Chrome driver. So that driver will be sent to the main page initially, okay, which have access. So that driver should also be sent to all the respective delegate pages. Okay, then only we can use one common driver across your framework. So you have to send two arguments. One is a driver and one is a section element.
Okay, and obviously it complains because the arguments what you have here is not matching with constructor, because here you don't have any constructor, right? So it's a default constructor without any arguments. But here now you deliberately given two parameters to your constructor, so that means you have to explicitly write one constructor with multiple arguments. So move your cursor and it will create for you automatically when you say create constructor. Okay, so when you create constructor, you see that there is a method called super which is added. What is this? So basically when you are inheriting any parent class, it's your duty to implement that constructor as well. Okay, so you should call that constructor as a first step of your child constructor. That's the Java rule. So let me write it here. So when you inherit parent class, you should invoke parent class constructor in your own child class constructor, and that should be the first step. So that's why when you automatically create that method, IntelliJ gave you that, hey, super method, which tells you that execute the constructor of your parent. So here abstract component is your parent class. When you call super method, abstract component constructor will be invoked. Okay, so you got this section element from travel homepage to here. So this element you have to send it to your abstract component class, right? So what we can do now, let's carefully send that information. You got these two elements, right? In the super also I will send again this driver and section element. See, for every class we have to carry this driver, because this driver initially you will get it from test case. That from test case it will be injected to this travel home page. That I will show later when I create a test. I will show that. So once home page, main page received it, it's a duty of main page to distribute that driver to all related classes. So from here it is now into footer navigation page. Now from footer navigation page you have to send same driver so that your test case will be in sync to your abstract component as well. Okay, so you send these two elements to your parent. You have an error here. Why? Because there is no constructor here with two arguments, but you created a constructor with two arguments. So move your cursor again and say create constructor, and here also you got constructor. Okay, and section element is now successfully brought into this class. Okay, so from here when you execute this method get footer nav, this section element will be carried out from here to your constructor invocation. So from here it will be received to this constructor, and from here we are sending it to our parent constructor. So that section element is successfully traversed and carried, and finally it reaches here. But when you received that section element as a constructor argument, the scope of this section element will be inside this method only. You need that section element here. So how you can get section element from restricted constructor to outside of any method? For that reason you have to create a new variable and assign it. Okay, so let me show how to do that. So section, you can say this dot refers to local variable. So this is my local variable, this dot section element. Sorry, I have to written inside this. And here on the top I will say web element section element. Okay, so this is a variable I declared locally. Right now this does not have any life. This section element have null, and we carefully assign that section element which we received as a constructor from footer navigation to my local variable. I'm assigning to this. So this way when I assign, this will get activated. Once this is activated, I will use it here. So this way I can bring that section element to my local methods if I assign it from my constructor variable to my local variable. Okay, so there is an error here. Let's fix this. It's saying web element, yeah, it's saying to cast it. So let's do one thing, because this is by, right? So by, in the sense, initially when you go to your travel home page, it's not driver dot find element, it's by dot id. When you do only by dot id, return type will be by only. Okay, when you do driver dot find element, then return type will be web element. So let's do one thing, and the driver what we got successfully from our main class, driver dot find element, inside this we are passing this, which have by dot css selector. Okay, now this got activated. Section element, now this section element have the information about that footer section. Okay, so one related problem, let's see what is this. I know navigation bar, here also we need to extract. Let's not do that now, because let's only focus on footer navigation for now and build one test to get you going. So section element dot find element, now you have to send your find element what you want to find from your footer navigation. So instead of this, I will write find element of flights dot click. I'll comment this for a second. Save your project. Okay, so there is an error here, because we have to send this by to this find element. So same way we will write expect by element. By, if you write like this, find element by. Okay, and now you see that error is gone. So when you execute this method, now the flights by dot css selector will go inside this. Once it goes inside this, instead of doing driver dot, it is doing section element dot find element, and here find elements by, it will, so it will exactly go to that location and you can just return it. Perfect. So once it written, on that returned element you will perform click. And now when you run this test by creating a flow, here this will now search only in the footer, because we restricted scope only to footer, not entire page. So let's stop it here. From the next lecture, I will create one test case and we will do one flow and see what exactly it is doing. Technically, title equals to flights, it should click on the header link here. Everyone know, if you have basics of Selenium, because this is the first identified, but as the framework what we written now, this should click on this flights but not this. Let's have one test case and see what is the advantage and disadvantage from that model, and we'll make more tweaks and make it more efficient. Okay, thank you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit on bell icon to get the latest updates on QA automation side.